Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SavvyCast. This is Jamie, and I'm thrilled that you're joining today, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast. Today, I have my Finlay Copeland. She is my business manager, but that does not even begin to encompass everything she does. She is the brains and the engine behind Family Savvy. So, Finlay is here today, and we're just going to talk about what she does for Family Savvy and how our business runs day to day. Finlay, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Jamie. I always love being in front of the camera. And you never get to, though.
Well, Finlay is quite the performer. Finlay, tell everyone you are Disney College, but you are a dancer. You teach dance.
Yeah.
You're a performer. So you have a very varied experience.
Oh, yeah.
And what you do.
Yeah. Love all of the arts. It's super fun. And I was on a previous podcast episode talking all about Disney, my experience with the Disney College program, all the fun things. So thanks, Jamie. It's always
Yeah. And you're a fabulous dance teacher and you're a good dancer. So Finlay, she does a lot. She's very multi-talented. So
you're so sweet.
okay. So Finlay, I did ask you this, but it was so long ago that your taste may have changed. But I asked all of my guests, what would you choose as your last meal?
I would probably choose baked spaghetti.
Oh,
Baked spaghetti. Or some people call it spaghetti casserole. But my mom made it all the time when I was growing up. I was absolutely obsessed with it. And I love like the thick layer of like baked cheese. Like it's all gooey and crusty and it's my favorite thing. I could eat that forever and ever.
Okay, I have to ask you because I think I do have a recipe for that on Family Savvy, but it's like one of those neglected. We would have to dig it up.
Yeah.
Because chicken tetrazzini has sort of risen to the top. How does that compare? Because I know you've made my chicken tetrazzini.
Yeah, honestly, they're pretty similar. Your chicken tetrazzini is more creamy.
Yeah.
But if I was going for something that's more cheesy,
Yeah.
I would go for the baked spaghetti. But no, they're very, very similar, which is why I'm obsessed with your chicken tetrazzini.
Yeah, both of those are perfect comfort meals. Take them a meal because people are sitting you, baby. You can't go wrong with either of those.
No, they're cheese overload.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, Finlay, just in case somebody who might be watching or listening does not know how you came to be in part of Family Savvy, just give everyone a little recap how it all began.
Yeah. So, fun fact, I started Family Savvy when I was back in college. I was a sophomore at Sanford University in Birmingham, Alabama. A member of Jamie's team at the time had reached out to Sanford's communication department asking if there was any student that was interested in running her Instagram account. And at the time, I was busy teaching dance. So I didn't reach out, but I had saved it and thought, oh, that'd be a really cool job to do one day. Then the pandemic hit about 5 months after that. And I was like, wow, I have all this time, but nothing to use that time for. And so I reached out to Jamie, emailed her, and was like, hey, are you still looking for somebody? And then Jamie gave me a call. And just so happened, you are so lovely. You hired me on the spot.
Oh, hey, well, you're an easy hire, Finlay. I mean, it did not take long to tell that you were exactly what I needed and what I need.
Sweet. You're so sweet.
It was great, guys. Finlay, I mean, honestly, I do say this. She is the brains and she's the engine. She is what keeps me going. So, and Zane agrees. You're just the most valuable asset. And let's just tell everyone just sort of what you do and how you keep the engine running and just all the behind the scenes because we do get questions that come through DMs, lots of questions about, what do you do every day? So, and it has changed. I mean, we're in a season now that we're busier than we've ever been.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good busy.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I literally, when we were talking about making this podcast, it was because Jamie gets questions all the time about what we do. And then I'm always getting questions because when anybody asks me, what do you do for a living? I always laugh and I tell Jamie, it's really hard to explain. I got ideas. I didn't know this. But it's a great question. And I went full time with Family Savvy and stepped into my business manager role from my previous role as her social media manager and her podcast editor. Going full time has been such a fun change. I've loved it. I've loved it. It's been so great. But some of the questions I get, what do I do for my job? I just tell people I run every aspect of Family Savvy. I just oversee all operations of the business, and Jamie is the creative mind behind it all. We'll sit down, we'll brainstorm content ideas, and my job is I want to be able to run all the operations so that she can get in front of the camera, share what she's passionate about, hands it off to me, and I take it and run with it, which I just find is such a big joy for me. I like the behind the scenes stuff. So I also like working behind the camera. So, but a day, everyone also, when they hear me say that, a lot of people will be like, well, what does your day look like? And the answer is no 2 days really look the same in this. They really don't. It's always different, which I always love and I crave that. Sometimes I work from Janie's home twice a day. Yep. I'll come over, work in her basement, which is beautiful, and do my own thing. If she needs me, I come up, help however is needed. Sometimes that's filming. Sometimes we just got to chat through a project. And other times I work from home, but I'll do everything from helping with her brand deals and partnerships, content ideas, overarching strategy, nitty gritty details of different contracts and video ideas. Sometimes it's video editing. I still do podcast editing. Hey. Yes, yes. I'm really intentional. That's about it.
Well, I think what a lot of people might wonder is what do we do all day? Like, what is a typical day? And as you said, it does, you're here some days you're at home. I want to give Finley freedom to not feel hemmed in. I love when she's here, but then I know it's important for you to have the freedom to also work from home. And we are in a very good system with that. We plan things that are in-house when we know Finley's going to be here. If we have a photo shoot or some videography that needs directing, we plan it when Finley is here. And then we've just got built-in flexibility. But a typical day, like Mondays, wouldn't you say, are sort of pretty consistent every week? So
That's a very consistent day. We usually have our weekly meetings, kind of like any other business. We have our weekly meetings. We also have amazing other teammates that work part time with Family Savvy, and we correspond with them to kind of figure out our projects for the week, have a weekly meeting to get on board, and just get on schedule. So Mondays are very typical. I hit the ground running. Yeah, hit the ground running, set a game plan out for the week ahead. And then all the other days, it's like, okay, let's schedule a little filming session. Let's see what deadlines we have for a partnership. I mean, all the other projects, some are routine. Like I always know I need to schedule Instagram content out and get that. But other times, it's just a fun, creative workflow. I love it.
well, I will say this because my baby is the blog. That's what started Family Savvy, and then the social media came later. But the blog is really where everything lives as far as recipes. And when Finley came on board, that's when the social media really began to kick off and grow. And Finley, where was I on Family Savvy Instagram when you came versus where we are now?
It's honestly been such a blessing.
Oh, it's such a blessing. And I totally, had I not had Finley, I would not be at all where I am now.
You're so sweet. I have no idea. I didn't know for the longest time to run a vlog.
Oh,
But when I was first hired, we were about 3,000 followers on Instagram. And then now we're about to hit 175,000. Possibly by the time this podcast goes out, we'll already have hit that.
oh my goodness.
So really cool growth. But it's funny because I tell people all the time that when Jamie hired me, I had never worked in social media. I just had ideas. So Family Savvy was kind of my guinea pig to test stuff out, see what actually worked. And it was just such a blessing. God's really blessed it.
He has. And one thing that Finley has really brought to the table, and you can probably look when you joined, let's say that was 2001-ish. No, I'm sorry. 2016-ish. When did the pandemic start? 2020. Wow. Oh my goodness. This is why I need Finley. This is why I need Finley. Okay, 2020. Okay. Is because literally, I mean, I had a an Instagram, but I would just, go in the kitchen and say, oh, let me just poach an egg. And I would film myself, put it up, might get up, might not, might have a hashtag, might not. I was not really able to focus to dedicate any amount of time because that's not my wheelhouse. So when Finley came on, she gave structure, she gave consistency, and she gave me direction. And over the course of the years that she's been here, we're now truly, I would say, an omni channel.
Yeah.
Um,
We're an omni-channel brand. You're an omni-channel platform for sure, Jamie. It has been really, really cool to see the growth of it all. And Jamie, just to give an a little insight into like the dynamic of it. Like I said, Jamie's very creative. She knows what her audience likes. So I've always asked her, being like, hey, what do you want to share? I might give her some ideas to build off of that. But Jamie is a very go with the flow and
Not structured.
not structured, but that pairs well because I'm pretty type A. I'm an Enneagram 3. And so I thrive off of structure, but that pairs so well together. And I couldn't have asked for anything better, to be honest with you. And that's kind of how that dynamic goes. When we work together, we kind of just complement each other very, very well. It works.
Well, one thing is, as Finley said, we do have other fabulous team members, and we have one male. Other than that, we're a female company.
Yep.
But we love Robert, and we would never give Robert eggs in New York. And Robert is as needed. He's on the payroll, but if anything goes down with the site, we call Robert. Robert's extremely valuable to us. But as far as the day-to-day operation, it's all female.
Yeah.
And the thing that, and Zane and I have said so many times, what a blessing. There are so many irons in the fire. The podcast, we're now really digging into YouTube and the blog and the newsletter, lots of affiliate partnerships.
Yeah.
And I may be leaving something out, but all of those, Finley she is the all-seeing eye, and you are managing all of the team members who are responsible for each division.
Yeah.
So you really are an operations manager, for lack of a better word, because you're managing every operation. Nothing ever happens that you're not copied on or that you don't sign off on.
Right.
Because you're the one who sees it all, and you might have to tweak or say, no, let's don't go that direction. But you're the decision maker, basically.
It's so sweet.
For the big decisions.
Yeah, I mean, it's really fun. And a lot of people, another popular question that I get asked is how many teammates does it take to make something like this happen? And I think a lot of people don't understand I don't think I fully understood once I got into this how much attention to detail goes into running an omni-channel platform, going into the influencer world. And so literally we have somebody who helps with writing blogs and optimizing SEO. We have Robert who watches everything for the blog. If we have like a technical issue, he saves our butts.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
If the fight goes down or if there's a Google issue,
Yup. We have a social media assistant that kind of helps Jamie with filming, helps me with running all the social media operations. We also have a brand manager. She helps correspond with all of our brands that we want to work with, pitches to them, negotiates with them, and connects with the brands and builds that relationship with them. So there's so many things that do go into it. And then obviously we also have a video editor for YouTube. That has been a whole new can of worms that we've opened with YouTube, whole new world. So there's so many things, little details that a lot of people don't realize that
I wouldn't realize if we weren't in this.
no.
Because Instagram looked so easy as to breeze in, make a cup of coffee and talk about it. There's so much behind the scenes.
Yes.
It is really, for lack of a better word, it's draining on busy days. You just want to fall down and just relax.
Yes. Y'all.
With a calming company, with a calming flow, as you relax. Anyway, and so some of the things, and Finley, I think some people want to know how these brands that we share, that we talk about, because you work directly with them, and as does Tiffany. In the beginning, basically, I just would use products that I loved and share about them for affiliate earnings. And then now at this point, we do the same. If I anything that I love, I share. And if I don't love it, I either don't share it or I try to be really nice about why it's not for me. I don't like to be negative about brands unless there's a reason to point something out. But now we're dealing with brands that reach out and that we have contracts and we have deliverables. So Finley will make sure, like, if there's a contract and they say, we want you to highlight this, and this, there's just a lot to sift through. And
Yeah.
you make sure that I don't leave anything out because refilming is difficult. And because of Finley's fastidiousness, we're very little ever having to refilm.
Yeah. What do you?
Because you make sure, so
They're so sweet.
for good things.
Jamie's also really, really good. But I mean, sometimes some brands will send us pages of something and we got to figure out how to fit it in 30 seconds. It's a lot, but a lot of people, we did start with just these affiliate, then smaller brand deals, and it's just scaled and scaled. And a lot of people have asked, like, does Jamie, I get this question a lot once they follow you and they're friends with me. They'll be like, does Jamie actually like what she just shared? And
Too.
yes. And I tell them all the time, like, yes, our process behind the scenes of when we are considering working with somebody, whether they've reached out to us or we've reached out to them, we always make sure that one, Jamie has tried the product. And if she hasn't tried the product before, we ask them to send it to her. Hey, yeah, well, we're interested. Let's try it out. And then if Jamie doesn't like the product, we say, hey, thanks for sending it. We so appreciate it. We're going to pass for now. It's not Jamie's favorite. And if they ask for feedback, we'll give it. But
And their brands are used to that.
they are
Used to time.
that's industry standard for sure. Like
Yeah.
they know they're sending this product to you knowing that there's a good chance that she may not like it. And I'll be honest, Jamie is very particular about what she shares. So, and that's how we want it to be. I don't want Jamie just to say, "Oh yeah, I kind of liked it, so I think I'll share it." Jamie is very thorough of being like, "Okay, now that makeup product really just didn't look all that. It wasn't my favorite shade. I really wouldn't wear this dress all that much, so I'm not really going to share it." So she's very particular. And if we say no, like Jamie said, that's industry standard. Nobody's hurt. But if she does say, hey, yeah, I really love this. Sometimes Jamie's new favorites have been found because a brand has reached out to us and she's tried it out. And
I'm thinking I wouldn't really like it, but I actually ended up. That's why gifting is the industry standard. Brands gift you things because you never really know until you try.
100%.
But as Finley said, and it is absolutely true, and Finley knows this because if a brand sends a deliverable that says, show how something has improved, like with your health or how you feel, and not many have ever done this, but I'm like, well, I haven't tried it long enough, or maybe I need a few more weeks, but I can't say that. I'll say I'm trying it because it has these benefits. But
Yeah.
but we really get into the weeds about what I'm willing to say, and I do have to like it because I believe that, at least for our brand, our most important thing for our people, because they're making buying decisions. People are writing checks or swiping credit cards or ordering online because of something we say. We will never mislead. We just will not. That's
No.
just not going to happen. There's nothing more. And I think it just shows. And I think my people know that I'm always open and honest
Yes.
about it.
I agree. No brand deal is worth sacrificing our credibility. Jamie, I always say, I'm like, Jamie, you're a trusted resource to families, to midlife women. And we recognize that and we don't take it lightly.
That's right.
So anything that you see Jamie promote, if you see, hey, this is an ad, just know behind the scenes, this was deliberated about very, very heavily before we said yes to this deal. This means that this is something she herself is dedicated to. So whenever you see that, just know, hey, Jamie really likes it.
We really are drinking the AG1 every single morning. And
Yes.
it's not, but sometimes the way and the frequency of when you're working with a favorite brand that you love, it can sometimes, okay, she's talked about that, she's talking about it again, but that is very common when you're working with a beloved brand that you actually use. it's an ongoing relationship. We call it a top tier or a priority brand.
Yeah.
So that is why it sometimes might seem like, oh my goodness, this is the fifth time we've heard her talk about
AG1.
AG1. There's a reason. It's because we really use and love it.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
and Finley, a lot of people ask if you can make money being an influencer.
Yes. Yes.
Well, but it doesn't come quickly.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
And you don't go into it for the money.
No.
And you don't go into it because you get free things. If those are your goals, it might not work out.
No. At least it won't work out for a hot second. That's for sure.
Mhm.
So, yes. Ironically, what's funny, Jamie, is when people ask me, what do I do for a living? And I tell them, I've gotten that a lot of being like, I've never heard anybody work with an influencer. Is there really actually all that much money? And I think a lot of people, I've had some people voice it, which I'm never offended by because I'm like, it's such a new thing.
Mhm.
But I mean, a lot of people, even in their mind, I can see the wheels turning of them being like, there's enough money for her to do that full time and or you to do it full time and then hire me. So it's one of
And I
those.
still can't believe it, Finley. I still can't believe it. And guys, Zane Torrance is the one who makes business decisions because he's the breadwinner. Yeah, by far. But he saw and y'all fleshed through because Finley had her hand in every aspect. It's not Instagram is not the money, the money maker.
No.
It's the connection to brands that you build relationships with. And you can explain all of that because there may be people listening or watching who want to be an influencer or whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
But because Family Savvy has so many arms, that has made it where we can't do without Finley and it brings in revenue streams.
Yeah.
It's not one particular
No.
revenue stream.
Yeah, we don't have one. For a while, the blog was the one and only revenue stream when I was first hired. That
Mhm.
was really it. But a lot of people will ask that very same question and being like, well, how do you make money? Obviously, apparently, y'all are making money somehow. And blog, having your own website is super hard to build nowadays. But a blog that gets really good traffic
Mhm.
generates lots of money. And a lot of people wonder how. But that's essentially because there's ads on your website and people will pay you to have those ads on your site. So basically, we get paid through that.
That's our number one revenue is the blog.
Not anymore. It's shifting a little bit, actually.
Okay. But a website, and I owe all that to Zane because in
Mhm.
2011 was leading a Church of the Highlands small group for young women with my friend Leanne Hines. And Zane said, make a website, put everything on the website, put everything on the website, and one day it'll be there. And it grew, it hit viral posts, and that is worth so much to us today.
Yes.
And it's sort of our foundation.
It is our foundation, 100%. So that's one revenue stream for Family Savvy, and it's a constant. We own that. That is
Yeah.
ours, and that's valuable too in and of itself.
Because
Mhm.
explain why that's so valuable to own your site.
So to own, so say if there's an issue on Instagram, there's a glitch or our account is falsely reported for like a spam thing and our account is temporarily disabled, then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like, how am I've just lost that whole platform. When you have your own site, you don't ever have to worry about somebody else shutting it down and somebody else having control of it. You control it.
You own it.
You own it. It is yours. You don't depend on anybody else. So that is the valuable part of that. Is same thing with a newsletter. If you build your own newsletter, that's also a really, really great platform that is your own, that you control. But another set of our revenue streams that we do have that we're very thankful for is YouTube is something that's starting to become a small revenue stream that we hope to scale in the coming months and years.
And can you explain why we decided to? Because it's a whole nother demographic of people that aren't really on Instagram.
Yeah, we're finding that midlife women in particular are going more to YouTube. A lot of people in Jamie's generation are migrating more that way. So we were like, oh, and Jamie used to do long form content
On Instagram.
Yes, on Instagram, back when IGTV was a thing, when I was
Oh,
was tired, she did so much of it, and it did really well on Instagram, and so I was like, "Let's bring that back. I think that you could do this and do this very well," and Jamie does, so it's something that we're still in the very new stages of this, and we're learning every day, but YouTube is one thing, and how you make money off YouTube is your ads. The ads that run and how many people watch your videos depends on how much you make from those ads, and so on and so forth. That's a whole different discussion. But another way that we make money, like we mentioned, is our brand deals. Our brands that we built relationships with, that is super valuable to us. And we're grateful for them wanting to work with us. And then the last thing that we usually make money off of is our affiliates. So affiliates are links that we put out in our blogs and our newsletter. Sometimes we have them on Instagram and in our Instagram stories. And it's basically a link that if you say Jamie shares a pair of shoes she's loving and she puts out a link on her Instagram story and you click on it and you decide to buy something through that link, that gives us a small commission at no extra cost to you. So it helps support us as a brand when you shop those links. And sometimes we have a fun discount code.
we always try with our brands that we love. We have a mutual relationship of affection,
Yeah.
for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
We always ask for discount codes. Some brands can easily do that, and they do, but sometimes they can't because some of these businesses are small.
Yeah.
It's just harder, but affiliate earnings are not the bread and butter by any means.
No.
Would you say?
Not the bread and butter, but I will say platforms like ShopMy and LTK have made that so much more accessible to influencers and made it so much easier. And so when you follow us on LTK and all of that, that's so helpful. That's so helpful to us. But those platforms are making it where influencers can make it their bread and butter, which is great for us.
Yes, and we also do love that you follow any platform for any influencer that you follow. It's always helpful if you follow, like, rate, review, because there that always helps.
That helps.
But as far as brand deals, a lot of people wonder, how do you get the free things? How do you get free product? Because it can be different. It can be through ShopMy or LTK. A brand will send you free product, small things. Sometimes they're larger, but the brands that see a fit, that sort of is outside of those boxes.
Yeah.
Some of those brands for us would be Costarina, Redmond Salt,
Yeah.
Nutrimil. And these are brands that I think we reached out to all of them because I use and love and would share anyway. I would share all that I'm sharing. I may not create reels for it, but I would always share, y'all, this is great. Y'all, this is great. But when you are in a deal, you have to meet deliverables. So it's more curated.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then they pay you more. The more they curate what you create, you get paid more.
Yeah.
If you're just linking to an affiliate product, you're just linking. So it's very small.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of those brands, when people ask how do I get gifted products? We do reach out. Like she just mentioned, Jamie was like, "Hey, I love this Costarina product. It's pretty great." And then me and our brand manager Tiffany will say, "Okay, we'll reach out to them to see if they're willing to work with us." Or sometimes when "Hey, are you willing to work with us?" They'll say, "Oh, well, we're not taking any marketing campaigns right now, but we'll send you something."
No. And then it turned into one of my absolute favorite
Yes.
affiliate. We love Costarina.
Yes.
And one thing that we love is that the podcast, I love putting a face behind a brand, a name behind a brand, because a brand is a person. Somebody's behind that. So I view it as, let's connect with them on the podcast and share with my community, hey, look at this person who built this business and learn how they did it. So that has been great for relationship building and for educating my people
Yeah.
about what I love and why I love it.
Yeah. I agree. Jamie, like we said earlier, are top tier brands, the ones that we see long term that we're like, hey, we love and we're not stopping
Mhm.
using your product anytime soon.
Mhm.
We just we want to share their story. We want to show the intentionality behind that. So
Mhm.
I think that's great. You can go listen to Jamie's podcast with the founder of Costa Rica that we did at the end of 2024.
Costa I just love that. It's y'all, I don't have any other oil in my house other than some avocado oil and some avocado oil shortening.
Mhm.
It truly is amazing. And I will say, because what advice would you give to someone wanting to become an influencer? This is one thing I would say. Be passionate about something, passionate enough where you can authentically. Okay, guys, sorry, we had a little sweet young man knock on the door selling golf balls. So we're back. We're back. Anyway, another question is, how do we come up with content ideas? And Finley again weighs into that. Now, content that I create is almost, would you not say, 100% tied to things that I naturally use that product for, that I would be doing anyway, even if I were not doing a collaboration.
Yeah.
Again, for Costa Rica, I use it every day, sometimes multiple times a day. So that's one of the easiest brands. Now, some that maybe I don't use every day, but I love, Finley will help me. She'll say, why don't you show how often you use this, why, and the benefits? Or you just think of a logical way. If it's not something I'm going to be doing every day and just grabbing a video.
Right.
So, and how do you come up with those?
That's a great question. I kind of just see what does well. Like
Mhm.
I've told Jamie anytime we post something on Instagram that is a dessert recipe, I automatically know it is going to do very well. People are going to save it, they're going to share it. I don't know what it is, but people love a sweet treat.
They do.
They do.
My people do.
Yes.
Mhm.
Anything seasonal. I was also listening to a podcast where somebody was talking about Pinterest trends, and they were saying, and this I find does the same for Instagram, is any seasonal content. They're like, milk that for what it's worth on Pinterest. Anything that's seasonal. Instagram, I'll tell Jamie around this time, I'm like, okay, Jamie, people will start rolling seasonal content like 6 to 8 weeks ahead of
Mhm.
that actual season. So I'm like, okay, I've even gone down to, hey, it's strawberry season. What strawberry recipes we have? And let's get it together. Let's make I think strawberry bread was one thing that you made.
Yeah.
But I'll mention to her any season, any fruit or vegetable that's in season. I'll be like, okay, let's pull out the summer squash
Yeah.
recipe.
Yeah. And
So,
you reshare a lot of my older content with
mm-hmm.
because it's evergreen.
Yep.
So thankfully, because I've had the blog for so long,
So long.
there are older videos.
Mm.
They're a lot of fun to watch because, new kitchen, new backdrop. But yeah, so Finley keeps me on top of all of that. And I will say, am I correct, Finley, that our biggest time as far as when the blog just goes crazy is before a holiday?
Yes.
Holiday cooking.
Yes.
And because, and you may not know this, some of you may just follow my Instagram, which is not as, it's just a different animal.
Mhm.
But my recipes are make ahead, a lot of them, freezer friendly,
Yep.
crowd pleasing, because of our small group. We're always cooking for a big crowd. So because of my age and stage in life, a lot of these recipes, I'm not going to say they're endangered, but they're just not what's out on Instagram necessarily. Chicken tetrazzini, I don't know many other places that you can find a chicken tetrazzini recipe.
I had never ate chicken tetrazzini until
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so
yeah.
that's when, and then I will say this because I do want people to know, because I do this myself, and now with AI, but really the easiest is to Google. Just say, does Family Savvy blog have a recipe for steak?
Mhm.
And it will pull up immediately every single steak recipe in one page.
Yes.
So search bars are really irrelevant now,
Mhm.
with Siri,
Yeah.
with Chat GPT, and so forth. So it's easy to even find anything by any influencer that you follow by just Googling it. So,
Yeah. And I thought of another question that I get too
oh, okay.
is how often does Jamie actually on her Instagram account? I've gotten that before. How much is me and how
Oh,
much is
yeah.
you?
Yes.
And I
Be
laugh.
honest about the captions.
Oh, captions. Well, here's what's funny. Here's how we do it. And I don't know how many people actually work this way. So this is just a fun dynamic that we have. Is I'll message Jamie. I'll be like, okay, I'm editing and I'm gonna put out
Mhm.
a reel about strawberry nut bread. Tell me what I need to know.
Well,
'Cause
I've already done the video. It's
Yep.
Dropbox. Yeah.
She will film the content, her or our social media assistant, Emma. They'll film it, put it in Dropbox. I'll take a look at it. I'll make the edits. And when I'm getting ready to write a caption, if there's not already a blog post for it that already has Jamie's thoughts in it, then I'll usually message her. I'll be like, okay, what did you think about it? What do you want people to know? What tip do you have? It may be a
Yes.
head tip. It may be a freezer tip. And Jamie will send me a voice message.
But answering your
Yes.
questions. Yeah.
They'll answer my questions, give me the details I need, and then I go in and I write the caption. And since I've been with Jamie for so long, I know how she talks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really fun.
So it's all me, but
Yeah.
you're like I've said, you're my brain. You know how I think, you know how I talk, you have a blog post, but you condense it for that platform.
Yes. I look and I'm like, okay, what keywords can we feature? What are people going to search?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to be eye-catching? So it is Jamie, like the heart of it and everything. She's on camera. She filmed it. She thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do write it that way. And Jamie does answer DMs. She does look at them. She does look at comments. And
Yeah.
it's really fun. Now, sometimes I'll help. I'll help answer questions. If there's somebody asking for something that we shared about a few days ago, I'll hop in because we get so many. She can't do it all. I can't do it all. But if that's how we tag team it. And Jamie is actually she looks at it.
Oh,
She
I love
sees
yeah.
your comments.
And we also get asked, and we'll wind it down with this, or I have been asked, okay, you're almost 60. Where is this going to go? Even my kids have asked me, you're almost 60. So and there's several of us that are in this midlife space, and I think there's no age limit
Mhm.
to being an influencer because you're going to have your people. Like I would say the majority of my demographic, the majority would be midlife women.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know platform to platform that can sort of shift a little bit. So, midlife women, we all have similar life situations. We're in the same season. I'm about to enter the grandparenting season. By the time this comes out, I hope Ann Parker is here. Oh my gosh, she's taking her little sweet time. Her due date was two days ago, but I'll probably have a grandbaby by the time this comes out, hopefully.
So excited.
And I'll be sharing grandparent content, how I do it. I am very blessed because we have people. I can put a question box and hear from so many of my people who have the best advice. So I am as blessed by my followers as y'all are by me because I learn so much. And like, I get a lot of tips and a lot of advice because I share everything on Instagram in the stories. So it's helpful. And then I will just say, you want to give them a sneak peek at some things that might be coming or that are coming, but we're not sure, or we not need to sneak peek.
I don't know. Should we? I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
Tell us into that.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Well, we do have things coming.
Yes.
We
There
do
are.
some wonderful things. Things are happening that are great.
Stay tuned for fun announcements. Lots of fun announcements.
Yeah.
I think lots of amazing things. And bouncing off of what you said also about being a midlife influencer, I think everybody at any age can do this so
I
well.
agree.
I think so. And I think it's also really cool, specifically, a lot of people in midlife, I think, just are like, okay, I'm an empty nester. This is my life, blah, blah, blah. I think try something new. I love how you and Allie Phillips,
Oh, I love her.
I love y'all trying.
I've got to say, Allie Phillips is probably my number one inspiration for being a midlife influencer.
She's amazing.
Y'all, there's a podcast. We'll link to it in the show notes. She is truly amazing, and she's 70.
I don't even remember, y'all. It's
And
phenomenal what she does.
she is amazing. She has more energy. She's got as much energy as Zane.
She and Jamie both to me exemplify that it is one of those where I'm like, you can do anything at any age.
Yeah.
It is just on your mindset because I'm telling you, Jamie cranks out content like nobody's business. Jamie has so many ideas all the time, and it is really inspirational. I think it's amazing.
Well, it's, just me saying that Allie Phillips, who she's Allie's Kitchen, ALLYS Kitchen on Instagram. When I had my podcast with her, and then when I visit her Instagram, I'm inspired and I'm educated and I'm entertained. And we have, as I guess, our motto, my team, and primarily Finley and I, because we create together. Zane actually heard this at one of the events he was speaking at. Someone else spoke, and they said that if you share content, you should do one of three things:
Mm-hmm.
educate, entertain, or inspire. And I always try to make sure I'm doing one of those
Mm-hmm.
because it's time. When someone watches me, you're giving me your time. When you purchase something, you are giving your money. I mean, I do not take that lightly at all.
Mm-mm.
And my number one priority is to add value. I want to add value. I don't want to be a taker. But the benefits of doing this long term is you get brand situations and you get paid where you can relax, hire good help, and do what you love and add value and not be worried. Oh my goodness, I'm draining the pocketbook. Because in the beginning, as Zane said about the podcast, for a while, he said that's an expensive hobby.
Mhm.
And it was.
Yep.
And now we are trying to grow the podcast. So as we close out, I do want to ask any of you listening or watching, send us suggestions
Mhm.
for what you would like to hear, what kind of content, because that matters. That would help us so immensely, wouldn't it, Finley?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, y'all drive the content. I see what y'all like and we just bounce off it. So feel free. I'll probably put a question box on Instagram.
Yes.
Hear from y'all. So keep an eye out.
We appreciate you all so much. Thank you for stopping by today. Thank you, Finley. And
Thank you.
as always, until next time, be blessed and stay savvy.